Hello and welcome in this video about the secrets of staying sober. And today I'm going to talk about the truth will set us free and what are the steps to become whole again. I'm Michael, I'm an alcohol coach in Belgium. I wrote a couple of books, and with the books I try to help people to stay sober. And today I'm going to talk about the truth will set us free. So we live in a society where there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of a show, like we are on Instagram, on Facebook, and everybody's like, yeah, I am happy, I feel good. But the truth is that many people don't feel so good as they think. A lot of people have masks, feel that they are not so okay, and for me this is also has been a process. By quit drinking alcohol, I started to know myself in another way, and I know that the reason that I drank a lot is that I was afraid to be myself. It's not easy to be yourself in our society because there are a lot of people judging you. It's not a very safe place, and that's been a whole process in my soberness. And I have like a sentence, and it's people are a creation of the words that they speak. And when I was younger, I couldn't always speak my own truth because I was afraid of the judgment of people, like, is he normal? And so I didn't speak my truth all the time, and that's why I wasn't myself. So in the process of quit drinking alcohol and staying sober, speaking my truth is a very important one. I went once to a seminar of Anthony Robbins. It's a major guru, he's amazing. And there was one sentence that always came back, and the sentence was, the truth will set you free. And for me that sentence is one that really stayed in my head because it is true. But sometimes it's so difficult to speak our own truth. And so for learning to speak my truth, I did a lot of work on myself. I wrote a lot, I went a lot in therapy, and when I stopped, when I quit drinking, I went to the AA. And for me, like when I went to the AA, I was 3 months sober. I went there and I was talking about my story, and I was, yeah, I'm an alcoholic. When I start drink, I cannot stop. And I talked for half an hour in the AA, and Anonymous Alcoholics. And then at a certain moment when I stopped talking, there was a guy who looked at me and he said, Michael, I understand you. And these words, like, I understand you, they were amazing. It was for me like, it's such a relief that somebody understood me. Because when I talked about my problem to friends or to other people, they were like, yeah, Michael, just drink a little bit less, you don't have to stop. But in the AA, I felt recognition for the words that I told, and the words like, I understand you, they were such a relief. It was amazing. And I went to the AA a couple of times, but I also went a lot to therapists, and in therapy sessions sometimes the same things happen. I talk about problems, about that I have difficulties with myself, and my therapist says, yeah, I understand. And these words are so relieving. A lot of people don't feel understood in our society, and a lot of people have like difficult beliefs about themselves. Maybe like, why do I live? What is the point of my existence? What's wrong with me? I'm not good enough. I'm never lucky. Why does this always happen to me? And a lot of people go with these kind of beliefs in our lives. But these beliefs are not correct. These are beliefs that we have taken or took over when we were young. And in my philosophy to to become whole again, to be your 100% yourself, you have to have insight about how you are grown up, how your life is. And the first step is really like seeing how were you raised, like were your parents friendly, they listened to you, were they supportive. So it's very important that you have like a clear image, and in my books I always leave a lot of space to leave the room. So it's important, like how were your parents to you? This is the first step. Then the second step is you have to know what are the beliefs about yourself. I told a couple of beliefs, but what is your beliefs? What is your belief about yourself? Because what you believe is what we will get in life. So it's very important to know what you believe. And like for me, when I was drunk a lot, I always wanted to commit suicide, because I had the idea that I was a burden for people, that I was not good for people. And this is a belief that I took into my life, but it's not the right one. So staying sober is getting in touch with yourself, is getting to know yourself. And yeah, it's very important to see what your beliefs are. The third step is to see who are the people who are suppressing you. And this is also a very important one, because we get along in life and we see people, we have friends, but sometimes we do not know if these friends are real friends. Okay, what is the definition of a real friend? It's also something else, but for me a real friend is sometimes somebody who listens to me, who supports me, who gives me feedback, who is honest with me. And it's important to see who are the people who are like suppressing you. With who of your friends or your parents can you not be yourself? And this is very important to have insight. This person. I know with my mother in my life, it's always been difficult, because she's very judging always, and for me it's sometimes difficult. Also my brother, I love him, and I also love my mother, but my brother is also sometimes a little bit judging, and sometimes for me still it's like, oh, can I be 100% myself? And the fourth step is the most important step. And that's how I go through life. It's by working on that problem. And I started to write letters to these people. So so this was for me a very important step in my life, to see who are the people who suppress me, but then to have the courage to send them a letter and to tell them what you feel. And I wrote letters to my brother, to my sister, to my mother, to my father, to friends of me, because for me the truth was still inside of me, and when I saw him, I couldn't dare to speak out, but in letters I found the courage to write it all down. So you can do that. That's the first thing. You can write a letter, and like you can talk about what your feeling is in the letter. How do you want to be treated? You don't have the control over how they will treat you, but you can say, I want to be treated in that way. A lot of people, when you will write letters, they will say, oh, do normal, or that's ridiculous. Put all the things that people will tell you in the letter. Like, I know you find this letter ridiculous, I know that you think I'm not normal, but I still want to speak my truth. And always be grateful also for the people. I wrote a lot of letters to my parents, and but I'm grateful that they are my parents. But it's important for me to speak my truth that is here, to speak it out. So writing letters to people was very, very interesting, and it always gave me a kind of rest also, like, okay, now I also know what is happening inside of me. I wrote it down. And then the fifth step for me, it's the most important step, is find the courage to give the letter to your parents or to the people who suppress you. And that's amazing when you do it. When you have the courage to give the letter to the people who suppress you, things really are going to change, because in writing the letter there can be fear, it can be confronting, but in giving the letter to a certain guy or a woman, that really changes the energy. Why? Because when you give it, you really say like, okay, this is my truth, these are my words, and I stand behind what I say, and I give it to you because my truth can and may exist. And if you do that, then really things will change. The energy will change. It's very important also to let the reaction, they get the letter, and it's important to let it go, the reaction. It's I never know how people would react on my letters, but it was for me not the reaction that matters. It was me saying my truth to the people. And you don't have control about how people react, so you have to let it go. And for me, this is giving the letter. It's where the transformation finds place, and that's the thing where most people are afraid of. Yeah, like, I know I'm not gonna say it, oh no, because my parents are that old, and ooh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Okay, I understand that it's not easy, but people say, I don't want to hurt his feelings, but our own feelings we hurt all the time. And in life we have to make a decision. Or we take care of ourselves, or we take care of others. I'm gonna tell you the result. If you always take care of others, you will lose yourself in addictions and problems. Your body will get sick, because we are not listening to ourselves. We have much love for other people, but we should have the most love for ourselves. And that's also something that I learned. And it's important to be true to your own truth. And sometimes it will hurt. If you tell your truth, sometimes you will hurt people. It is like that. But after the hurt, there's most the freedom. And you see here, it's the pain. It's it's a wall, and here it's the freedom. So sometimes it does hurt a little bit, but afterwards you get in another energy. And yeah, for me this has been very important to tell my truth, to speak my truth, and to write the letters to people. That's how I changed the energy in my own family. I was always busy with other people, like, ooh, will they like me? Will I say my truth? And by starting to write letters, I learned to make fights and also to choose for myself. If people are always saying to me what is good and what is not good, I have my own opinion also. And I started to write it down. So this was one of the most important chapters of my book that I wrote, because by writing this book and by giving us a sort of guidance how you can write the letters, a lot of people wrote letters to their suppression, to the people who suppress them. So yeah, I hope you learned something about this chapter. If you have questions, you can always ask me. If you don't want to know something, just ask me. And okay, I do a little part, the secrets of staying sober. This is I think my third or my fourth video that I made, but you will see there are a lot of others, and you can always subscribe to my channel, and I wish you a lot of fun. Bye bye.